You know what grinds my gears? Not trying to say that the church is a bad thing. It really isn't. It's just the people behind the scenes who's controlling religion. That's what grinds my gears. And also, what will really piss me off too is that the only reason why people are praising God, worshiping God, speaking in tongues or whatever, is because they are afraid of going to hell. They just doing it to save their asses. They just doing it to kiss God's ass. That's all. That's what I realized. Because these Bible thumping church going motherfuckers are so hypocritical to the point that outside of church, they do a lot of damaging things. But once they come inside the church, they want to look all clean and pristine, but deep down they dirty as hell because the things that they did outside of the church. See, like Tupac said it best, we probably in hell already. Our dumb ass is not knowing. Everybody kissing ass to go to heaven, they gone. I put my soul on it. And that is so true. All these people, all these religious people out here, man, I really think and believe that half of these motherfuckers only doing it because they don't want to go to hell. They're not doing it because of the love of God, per se. They just doing it because they don't want to go to hell. That's all. Because God's love and God's righteousness is a totally different thing. And it's a totally different feeling. I mean, don't get me wrong, when people live a rough life, I say they turn to the church, which I understand, people have nasty addictions and all that stuff. Okay, I get that. But when it comes to salvation and all that stuff, I really think and believe that half of these so-called saved people that's in the church only doing it because they trying to save their asses. Because they don't want to go to hell. They just doing it just to kiss ass to go to hell. To kiss ass and go to heaven. That's all. Because they are afraid of going to hell. And a lot of these people, a lot of these so-called churchgoers, will do a lot of hypocritical stuff behind the scenes or outside of the church. But once they come inside of the church, they're actually supposedly very good people. See, that's what grinds my gears about the whole aspect of going to church and being religious and all that stuff. I mean, number one, it's not good to be too religious anyway. But number two, when it comes to actually being a part of the church and to actually worshiping God, you got to be real with that shit, man. You got to walk the walk and talk the talk. You got to live that life, man. You got to live it. You got to live that life. Because I met a lot of people who supposedly go to church, but their ways are all so fucking nasty. Their ways are nasty as hell. That's why I don't talk to people like that. So it doesn't matter if you're religious or non-religious. I don't talk to people like that because humans are very fickle and they two-faced. They're turncoats. One day they're this way, and the other day they're that way. See, I don't understand that. If you're cool with me, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not cool with me, show it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just flip the switch on me and stuff unless you're bipolar. Now, if you're bipolar, I understand that. But if you're not bipolar, that lets me know that you're not a real person because you like to flip and switch. See, I realize, man, when it comes to my so-called family, my so-called friends, the people, the strangers that I met up with, that I accidentally met up with, a lot of these motherfuckers are turncoats, man. A lot of these motherfuckers are hypocrites. I'm talking about nasty hypocrites. So there's a difference between being a hypocrite and a nasty hypocrite. A hypocrite, like for example, like a person would tell you that, oh, I don't eat peanut butter jelly sandwiches, but then later on they begin to like peanut butter jelly sandwiches. That's minor hypocritical stuff. That ain't nothing. Excuse me. But being a major hypocrite is like, for example, you go to church, right? You're supposed to be a church person, but behind the scenes, you're out there drinking, smoking, fornicating and doing drugs. All the while, you're supposed to be a church person. That's being a nasty hypocrite. While you out there doing drugs and fornicating and drinking and all that stuff, but you're supposed to be a church person, that's being a nasty hypocrite. But I digress on that. Sorry for coughing. But it just grinds my gears on how people want to so-called love to praise God and all that stuff. But all the while they just doing it just to save their asses. They're not doing it for the love of God. They doing it because they trying to cover their ass. So in that way, they don't want to go to hell. They're not doing it for the love of God. They're doing it because they want God's protection from hell, from all the dirty shit that they did in the past. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like John Jones said a long time ago, a lot of us came from sin. A lot of us ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is true. A lot of us ain't shit, But don't just fake the funk when it comes to this religious shit. Don't just fake the funk when it comes to praising God. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us ain't shit. But when it comes to joining these religious institutions, you got to be real with it. You got to live that life. From the rooter to the tutor, you got to live that life. But that's all I got to say about that, man. Sure, that's all I got to say, man. You got to live that life, man. You can't just, talk about it one day, but then do something else that's completely that is completely opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. You got to live that life, man. That's all I'm trying to say. No turncoating, no turncoat, no backsliding, no being two-faced about it. Either you're in or you're out. Either you're in or you're out. That's it. That's all I got to say about that, man. But yeah, thank you so much and have a good day.